Can you hear me? Should be able to hear me. Yes. Maybe. Okay. Yes. Oh. Oh, damn, it's showing my whole screen. I don't want that. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Okay. I don't think I had anything embarrassing on my full screen or anything that I didn't want anybody to see, but, you know, uh, just in case. Okay. Awesome. Whoops. Whoops. Okay, alright. Let's get back to some Bible translation. Where did I leave off? Where's this? Why is this Google Translate button auto translating toki pona into English in the chat on the side? What? Is there a way to turn that off? I'm upset about that. Like why does it keep doing that? Okay, details, education. Where does it say translate? Does it say translate? Automate chapter feature automate. Okay, customization. Okay, okay, well, I'm upset about that, but there's nothing I can do about it because there's no setting that I can find to turn it off. So if unless there is one, if somebody knows how to turn off the automatic Google translating of my chat in any way, I might send feedback right now. Automatically translating my chat from the language that I want to see using Google Translate into English. I don't know how to turn it off. Okay, I'll capture a screenshot. Yeah. Sure, email me. Alright, for the time being, I guess, we're just gonna have to live with this. Anyway, let's see where we were. Genesis 47, because, wow, damn, I'm almost done with this. So, Genesis 47, yan Yosef likama tawayan pao eni likama li toki tawayan pao eni mama mi and mie sama mi. Okay, so Joseph's family has just kind of arrived in Goshen, and Joseph is talking to the Pharaoh. Everyone's saying toki the, and I hate it. I hate it. Oh my god, why? I wish people could say tokia instead of toki the. Okay. So we're on verse 9. Yan Yaakov itoki tawayan pao. The days of the years of my sojourning. Okay, so this is something that Hebrew does a lot, where it uses the word that lexically means they, to just mean time, like a duration of time in general, like kind of on the longer scale, usually on the scale of years, but they use the word for day for that. So the days of the years of my sojournings is literally like how many years was I sojourning. So when I translate, I'm not going to use suno, I don't think. even though it's in there, I'm going to say, like, tempo pitawa mi imaweka. God, I haven't done this in like over a month, so I'm kind of forgetting like what my conventions were, like the days of the years of my sojourning, like maybe like tempo mi pimiala. Okay, there we go. That works because it's like my time of a place that isn't my place, and that's what a sojourn is where you like. Maybe if I add an awin in there, it's like when I stayed, my staying time of a place that is not my place, and that I think works pretty well. I think it would even work without the awin, but I'm gonna keep the awin in there. Chicken breast. What? Sorry, sina limori a tempo kamala o pilin laptop. Oh my god. Mori. Sorry, sina limori a tempo kamala o pilin laptop. Okay. I'll make sure that in the future I'm feeling laptop. Thumbs up, I guess. Li sike 30 and 100 years. So that's 130. And then we have the etnakta, which is the little wishbone underneath, which tells us that there's like a big semicolon right here. And then ma'at veraim hayu. Okay. So this is the evils. So like few and the evils have been the days, the time of the years of my life, and not have reached out the days of the years of the lives of my fathers. Okay, this verse is confusing me, so we're going to check it individually. 47:9. What? Oh, I need a dash. Yeah, okay. So Pharaoh said to Jacob, Jacob said to Pharaoh, the days of the years of my sojournings are 130 years, because Abraham lived a very long time, and few and evil have been the days of the years of my life, and not they have reached the days of the years of the lives of my fathers and the days of their sojournings. Okay, so Jacob is sad because he's only lived for 130 years and sojourned, I guess. Yes? And he's talking to Pharaoh. Oh, yeah. So this is Joseph has brought Jacob to Pharaoh, kind of like saying, "Oh, hi boss, I think it's time that you meet my parents." You know when like you have a job and you're like, "You're my boss, you should meet my parents." Does that happen? It's never happened to me. I've never had a job where I've wanted my boss to meet my parents. I guess it was a different time. Okay. But what I'm curious about is how it's few and the evils, right? The evil things. I want to know what these two words together. Few and evil have been the days of the years of my life. Oh, okay. So we can use Ike for evil there, I think, because it's like not saying that there was evil in the days. It's just saying that the days were like evil vibes, I want to say, because it uses the copula there, right? And evil have been few, comma, and evil. Or few and evil, comma, have been the days of the years of my life. Tempo mi di lili ike Li sama ala. Okay, so I haven't. They have reached. They have not reached. I want to see what this verb means, according to BDB. Verb only. Okay, hif'il. Reach, overtake. Okay, so this is the one, as far as I know, that's used like all over the place to refer to like when one person's chasing another and reaches. Oh yeah. So it's used in the story of Joseph over here. Um, what? No, I don't see it. Go down. Nasag. Okay, nasag. Nasag. I don't see it in this verse. Okay, that's weird. Uh, vahisa, vahisagtam. Vahisagtam, okay. Vahisagtam. Okay, where's vahisag? There we go. And you shall overtake. Okay, so this is Joseph is giving his guards commands on like how to fuck with his brothers, basically. Wait, am I allowed to say that? I haven't streamed it so long, I forgot. Uh, he's telling his guards how to mess with his brothers because he wants to get back at them from selling him into slavery, which is reasonable. Um, I would want to mess with the people who sold me into slavery if I had a position of power over them, hypothetically, if that happened. Uh, so I think the only change I'm going to make is I'm going to add comma, because like to overcome, to reach and overcome, like if you're chasing after someone and you become next to them, that's like a kind of a comma, right? So it's not being used in that sense, but I'm going to keep the comma in there to kind of make it feel like more physical, more like there's an arrival at the state of not being like it. Tempo lon himama mi. In the days of their sojournings. So this part's interesting because we have a different preposition. This preposition is the direct object marker. So what it's saying is that they have not reached the years. But then over here it's saying that the time of their sojournings. But it's using the in preposition. So like this one would be e. I'm using sama because there is no word for to overcome or to reach in toki pona. So you need to kind of talk around it with a preposition. But here, if I wanted to translate this directly, I could say lon tempo ona awe pima pi ona ala, right? And then now we have parallelism in both my translation and I think in the other, because it's like in the days of their sojournings. And over here, he's saying the days of the years. Okay, so it's not quite parallelism, but it's I'm translating it the same way twice in the same verse, which is good, because like that's poetry or something. Let's go on to the next verse. Now Jacob's blessing Pharaoh, and Yaakov, the toki sewi pian pao. So I was actually talking to my rabbi about this, kind of recently-ish, about like what it means to bless somebody, what a blessing is, because like they say a lot in the Bible that people bless people. Sometimes God blesses people, and sometimes Jews bless people, and occasionally people who aren't Jews, or not Jews, but like Israelites, or like people of the Abrahamic faith, or like people in that family, will bless other people. But sometimes people from outside of that family will bless people inside of the family, and be like, oh, we're not part of your ethnic group, but we recognize that your God is way cooler than all the other gods. That kind of thing, right? To kind of demonstrate that Judaism has the most powerful God, right? So I guess it depends a lot on the context how I translate blessed or to bless, or a blessing, right? But I think that in this case, because no miracles happen to Pharaoh after this happens. It's not like he's making something happen. He's just like saying, "May God, may God protect you," or something like that, right? He's just kind of talking about the holiness of Pharaoh. So that's why I translate it as toki e sewi pian paro, right? In this case. But blessings are often given in the sense that God blesses someone and then they become the chosen one, and they're given the gift of prophecy, and it's like the Apollo giving teenagers the gift of prophecy on Tumblr or something, like whatever that meme was. It's like that. And then that's the blessing. And then in that sense, I might not just use toki as the verb, because toki is just talking. And I would say that he's actually making them holy. I would use sewi as the verb transitively, like sewi Elohim li sewi yan whoever, right? And now he's leaving. Itawa tan sinpin pian pao. Okay. So over here, I'm translating as tan sinpin because that's literally what this means. You might be looking at this and seeing that it says from before, and it's glossed as two prepositions. I mean, I don't really know who's reading this, but this is actually mi means from, li means to, and pene means face of. So the word for before in Hebrew is literally to the face of, like with the of in there. Like this little bit at the end means of. So like from before here, this translation, I'm not translating from this, I'm translating from this. I'm not saying from before into toki pona, I'm translating from milifne, which means tan sinpin pi, I guess. The P would not always show up. Like if it was from the face of a dog, it would just be tan sinpin soeri. But tan sinpin pi yan pao, right? Okay, I'm done with that verse. I'm having fun talking about my thought process a lot, but maybe it's better if I just speed up. I don't know what people want. I don't even know how many people are watching. 9 people are watching. Oh, okay. Met Opera. Okay, I got an email on my phone about the Met Opera. They want me to see their operas, I guess. Okay, Jan Yosef. Okay, this is weird because it's saying that Joseph settled his. Oh, it's Hefil. Okay, so Hefil means that he's causing his father to settle, not that he's quote unquote settling his father. Though I guess you could, if you want it to be weird in English, translate it like that. But Joseph is making his father and his brothers settle. So Yan Yosef li kama en mi mama ona en mi sama ona li awen lon ma. Okay, I might change this if it specifies where later in the verse, but if it doesn't, then I see no need to specify here, because if it's not in the original text, I shouldn't translate it. I shouldn't add an extra context that isn't there, because it's the Bible. You're supposed to figure out what it means from reading it. It's very counterproductive to have someone else add into the text what their interpretation is into the text. Commentary is fine, but like if the text itself is altered, then you don't know what's interpretation and what's the original text. And that's a problem, because if you're basing like any of your opinions off of the text at all, then you need to make sure that it's the original. Otherwise, you're basing your opinions off of like some translators' opinions who likely existed like within the past 500 years, if we're speaking about the English language, probably much closer to now, and those biases from their life kind of bleed in, right? And now I'm just ranting about people people using translations that I personally don't like. Oh well. Okay. Yan Yosef li Pana, tawa ona okay. Uh, chutza, chutza, a possession. Okay. Is this the one? Is this that one word? I'm very rusty in Hebrew because summer happened and I stopped taking Hebrew classes because it's the summer. Let's see. Into the sojourn land of Canaan. Yeah, okay, this is just yo. Yo lon ma. It's fine. Okay, so my question here is that is the possession a possession of land, or is it just a general possession? And we're in Genesis 47. Landed property. Okay, so Panatawa ona yoma. Okay, so there are many tokiponists who would disagree with me on this decision to say yoma for possession of land because in their usage of the language, which aligns with their political opinions about ownership of land, land should not be owned. My political opinions are similar to that, but they're irrelevant to translation of the Bible. And because in biblical times, land was owned. So I think it makes sense to use the word that can refer to ownership in Tokipona in this context to refer to that ownership of land, which is why I'm choosing to do this at the to the mental anguish of many Tokiponists who really want their usage of language to reflect their politics. Okay. And then they're in the best of the land. Okay. Lon Bemetav. Metav is just oh okay, it's the best. Lon Ma Nampa One. Okay, so this is Ramesses is a feminine. Wait, is this a place? Oh yeah, okay, it's a place. Most place names are feminine, but there's a real pharaoh named Ramesses historically who was a man. So it would be very interesting if this historical man's name in Hebrew was feminine, but it's not because he's not mentioned directly. It's just the land that's mentioned, at least not yet. Maybe he's mentioned somewhere. I don't know. As far as BDB says, it's a proper name only of a location. And then also it's a verb that has a very weird very weird structure. Cuz it's a weird verb, I guess. All right. Yeah, me when I'm playing cello, and land ownership walks in. Am I right? There we go. There's my Yoma joke. I thought it was pretty good. So this is Ram Ses. Ramesses. The Ramesses. Okay, this is tricky. How do I recognize this? I think this is how I want to do it because because in this case this would just be dropped. It wouldn't be pronounced as a glottal stop because it's right before another consonant. You're curious to know how the Bible would look in Ithkuil? I think that because the Bible is inherently very ambiguous, it might be difficult to translate into Ithkuil, and I'm not sure how easy it is to translate into Ithkuil while maintaining a good deal of ambiguity. It might be possible. It might be very easy. I'm not an Ithkuil person, but the words might be shorter than you'd assume based on Ithkuil. They might be like bare bones of what the meaning is, uh, just because it's a very ambiguous text. In many cases, it's unclear between two very different things, and in many cases, it's unclear between two. Because translating into Ithquil is weird because all other languages besides Ithquil are extremely ambiguous in meaning. And Ithquil is extremely precise in meaning. So any meaning that isn't there already, like, either needs to be omitted, making something in Ithquil not as precise as it could be, or there needs to be additional precision added in artificially into the translation, which would make the translation suffer, I think, because it's like adding extra context that would have to be based on interpretation. So there might have to be like a lot of footnotes about language usage, but also you should probably ask someone who like doesn't speak but like knows Ithquil. I don't think anyone really speaks it, but there are definitely people who like use the tables and Control F to like talk to each other relatively quickly. You know, I don't know enough about Ithquil to know if it would be grammatically possible to be vague, but I think it could happen. Let's see. Ramses. Ramses. Going crazy. Ramses. Yeah, okay, whatever. Samani yan pao li lawatoki. And once again, I think I've explained this before, but it's been a while. The reason why I translate to command as lawatoki is because the act that is being doing is control, but it's being done through the manner of speech. So lawatoki. Toki lawa could also work, but I like framing it like this. Oh my god, it's Lady oh, hi, hello. I know who you are. I'm just doing the nerdiest thing possible. I think I've got everyone beat. No one else is doing this. That's not true. There's a whole Bible translation project, but I'm the only person who's doing it like fully by myself. Okay, and provided. Vaichal kel. Okay, I don't recognize this verb, but I might just not recognize it because I'm really rusty with biblical Hebrew because it's been like a month. Cool. To contain, sustain. Do I remember this one? It was used in Genesis 45, and this is the second time it is used in the Bible. Okay. So comprehend, contain. That's a really fun dual meaning of a word, I think. Like, to comprehend something is to contain it in your mind. So then I would assume that the original meaning like comes from like to contain, and then comprehend was like, oh, I'm containing this, as a way of saying I'm comprehending this. Like, I contain that in my head. I think it would be really fun to calc Hebrew and English and go around and be like, someone is like, blah, 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 do you understand? And you could be like, I contain that. And then they'd be like, oh, what do you mean? And I'd be like, I contain that knowledge in my head now because you told me. And you could trust me, it's there. I contain it. And then there you go. That would be really funny. That's a really funny thought to me. This is the kind of thing that is very humorous to me. I really like calcs. I think that they're very funny. Okay, so to provide. Okay, but that's not what this is. To contain and comprehend is not to provide. Oh, but it's, okay, it's PL, which means it has a shifted meaning. Because in pa'al, which is the normal one, like the base verb conjugation system, good to know that calc is short for calculator. That's really funny. Okay, all right. Um, Pa'al, also known as ka, which means simple, is the base way of conjugating verbs. But if you turn it into PPL, which in this case is called pilpel for reasons I don't want to get into, it's the same thing as PL. There's only 7 of them, and then there are a bunch of others that do the same thing as the base 7, but just do different things with the consonants and the vowels. They're like grammatically the same category. It has a different meaning. And this different meaning is usually more intense than the base meaning. So PL, in this case pilpel, intensifies the pa'a meaning. So the intensification of to contain is to sustain, which doesn't make direct sense, but also this is not a productive process, which means that you can't just take any verb and do this to it and then expect to know how its meaning will change. This is very... It's called short for calculator. Oh my god. Y'all are cracking me up. Is it this easy to make me laugh? Does that make me a whimsical person? I hope so. Okay, so it contain followed by accusative of a person. Ah, okay, so this might be where it comes from. Like, to contain a person at a location could imply that in order to do that, you need to sustain, support, and nourish them. And then this meaning number 1, which is number 1 because it's the most common one, actually probably came from this one, and then this is the third meaning, which makes sense because it's only used in Proverbs, Malachi, and Psalms, which are all written in a later form of Hebrew than the Pentateuch, to my knowledge. And Kings and Jeremiah are older than these, I think. Jeremiah might not be, but Genesis is the oldest. Okay, so this one to this one probably happened before these texts were written, but this one to this one might have happened after the first texts were written. That's my headcanon for the evolution of this sense of this word from the base form. That's what makes the most sense to me. Other hypotheses to me make less sense than this hypothesis. But to be clear, I do not know for sure that that's what happened because I wasn't there. I was born in this century. So, not 2,000 years ago. I have been accused of being born 2,000 years ago and have been a part of a cult, but that's not true. That's not true, I was not. And then there's this hif'il, which is to cause something to be contained. Okay. And then it's used for liquids. Okay, alright, anyway. Provide for, okay. I think the perfect translation here in Toki Pona is awen, because awen means to maintain something, make something stay, but it is used like as an extension of that to mean to protect. It's not the only word in Toki Pona that can be used to mean protect, but in this case it's best suited because the base meaning of this verb is to contain, which awen means that. And the less literal meaning, the more direct meaning in this context is to sustain at a location, which is also how awen is used in Toki Pona, which makes awen the perfect word to use here in the translation. And that's why you always translate from the original language, if you can, into Toki Pona, because you never know when the translation might just make a million times more sense from Biblical Hebrew into Toki Pona than the English into Toki Pona. Also, a lot gets lost in playing telephone with translations. Okay, Yan Yosef Li Awen. See, I'm using the word, and I proved to all of you that it's the perfect word. Et mama ona, and it also lets me use the same preposition that they're using here. Et in Hebrew is used very similarly to how is used in Toki Pona. I think it's a coincidence, but it's a fun little coincidence. E mama ona, e mie sama ona, e ale pi tomo pi mama ona. Semicolon, because we have the et nocta. If you remember, it's this little fishbone thing here. It means that this is like kind of a stopping point in the verse. So this is like kind of halfway through the verse. Achav, semicolon, lechem. This is the same lechem in Bethlehem. In Hebrew, Bethlehem means house of bread. In Arabic, I don't know how to pronounce it, but Bethlehem, in Hebrew, it's Bet Lechem. In Arabic, it sounds similar. It same name for the place, but it means house of meat, because in Arabic, lechem, I think it's lechem, it means meat, not bread, because probably in Proto-Semitic, which is where both Arabic and Hebrew descend from, this same root probably generally referred to food as a whole, and it got more specialized meanings in different Semitic ethnic groups as they started to use words in more specific contexts, like using the general word for food to refer to a specific type of food that shows up in a lot of different meals. That's not to say that you can look at ancient Israelites and ancient Arabs and be like, "Ooh, the Arabs ate more meat and the the Israelites ate more bread." That's very silly because language is very arbitrary. But I think it's cool that they mean different things and that we can kind of reconstruct the Proto-Semitic meaning likely based off of it meaning those things. And that's actually that's all the information we have about the Proto-Indo-European culture is through linguistic analysis. We have no artifacts from their culture at all. We only know what we know about their culture and what they were like because of similarities between Sanskrit and Greek and Latin and other Proto-Indo-European languages, which is fun. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a similar semantic shift in English. I also can't remember what it is. Oh well. If I'm getting distracted, it's because I'm intentionally not taking my meds today. Because I don't want to take them every day. But I'm having fun, so I'm going to keep streaming. Okay. With bread according to the mouth of the little ones. So this has to be some level of idiomatic, because that's how it translates. It's like just these three words by themselves. Lechem, lepi, hatif. Hataf. So the question is, does hataf actually mean little one? Yes. Okay, so according to the mouths of the children. Or it's not according to, it's just like to the mouths. Which, oh, okay, so it's whatever the children need to be fed, that bread is given to them. So, pan litawa utapian lili. I think that this works really well as a translation because in toki pona, you don't need a verb here. You can just use the prepositional phrase as the verb, right? And then there's no action happening. It's kind of just saying what the preposition thing is. And in the original Hebrew, there is no verb. It's just bread to the mouth of the little ones. This with part was added by the translator for the gloss to make sense if you're reading through the gloss and you don't speak Hebrew. But I can read biblical Hebrew well enough to know that that is not the case. There is no with here. It's just bread to the mouths of the little ones, or mouth of the little ones. So plurality doesn't matter when translating it to Tokipona anyway, so I don't have to worry about that. I know that it will be the same translation either way. So these babies gonna get fed with bread, and we're just using a preposition. Okay. We've gotten through 2 verses. And how long has it been? Does it say? I'm not sure where to find. Oh, 40 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes a verse. Usually I do more than that in 20 minutes, more than one. Oh yeah, right. So for those of you who are not familiar with the story of Joseph, who have never seen like the DreamWorks movie, there's a famine going on, and Joseph is living in Egypt, and Joseph has successfully like stockpiled bread and for so that people can be fed throughout the famine that he foresees by interpreting the dreams of Pharaoh. Um, when I was growing up, I always thought it was the Pharaoh, but apparently it's just Pharaoh. Like whoever the Pharaoh was, that was a name that you could call him. Uh, at least in Jewish culture, that is the case because Pa'o is treated as a name and not as a title. Unlike a lot of other titles that receive the definite article, Pharaoh never does. Anyway, and the bread, and bread. Okay, pan lilon ala alema. Tani weka moku ike wawa. I'm just gonna say ike mute because me'od means mute, not wawa, right? It means very, not powerfully. So I like to translate as directly as possible when I can, because there are other words that can be used instead of me'od, that have a more like wawa meaning, because words in Hebrew come from roots, and we know what the roots are because of its kind of globally unique morphology, but locally not very unique because other languages around it have the same grammatical structure. Anyway, Yamnaya. I don't know what that is. Anyway, so that languished the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan because of the famine. Okay. I need to look at this verb. Telah. Laha. 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 That's what I think of. I think of like laughing. To faint. I actually don't know what languish means. Lungise. Okay. English. Lose or lack vitality. Grow weak or feeble. Okay, so ma Mitzrayim and ma Canaan dikama wawa ala tanweka moku. 14. Gathered up. Yan Yosef dikama yo. Okay, gather up. What verb is this? I need to check because I am rusty. Laqat. Okay. Pick or gather up. Specifically glean. This is the glean verb. This is that verb that means to glean. That shows up in Ruth. I'm pretty sure it shows up in Ruth. Yes, this is the Ruth. This is the Ruth verb. It's the verb that shows up in Ruth when Naomi and Ruth are like gleaning or whatever. It's that laqat. It's that word. Okay, so apparently it is used in a more general sense as well. Yeah. Okay. Yan Yosef li Kamayo. I think Kamayo works fine. Mani alemi. Yan li Kama lukine ona lon ma Mitzrayim. Lon ma Canaan. I think the ba here, which is like the locative preposition, it means in, is being used here to mean in exchange of. So I'm gonna say lon esun ipalni onari esune ona. Okay, that's stupid because it's in the trade of this bread they traded it. Which is like in toki pona, the way that I translate in exchange for is lon esun, right? Because I think that broader usage of esun is really cool and kind of unique-ish to toki pona. Definitely not unique, but it feels unique to me because I only speak like one language, and that language is English. So, you know, I told you that I was gonna make a conlang that uses those. When did I say that? I might have forgotten if I did say that. I could just make that video, I guess. Put it on the list of videos. I have like 5 video scripts that I've written, and like 4 more ideas for for videos. Oh, joke. Okay. Um. Non panni panadi eso. Okay. Joseph brought the silver to the house of Pharaoh. Yan Yosef the. Okay, so this is a causative version of the word for to come, not so to bring. I'm just gonna say kama which is in toki pona also a kind of a causative of the verb for to come. So it's the perfect translation. The kama mani tawat tomo pian pao. Mali. Yes. I'm not sure why, because N and L use different fingers and they're far away from each other. Oh, this is Bible Hub. BibleHub.com. Whoops. This is BibleHub.com. The interlinear option. There are many options that you can choose from here. There's a parallel where you can look at multiple different English translations. There's a study version, which I think is probably Christian, because this is a pretty Christian website. The visuals one has pictures, and it looks like... Oh, okay, good, that's not AI generated. Some of these might be, I don't know. The commentary is just like a bunch of commentaries, most of which seem to be Christian, on it, but, you know, interlinear is the one that I use the most, because it does this. Hebrew is kind of like interlinear, but it's like in like a... It's the same information, but it's presented differently. A lexicon is... I struggle to see the difference between lexicon and Hebrew. But also the words look like they're... Oh, okay, so it looks like the lexicon one just has all the words as like vocabulary words. I guess. No, this is not the same verse. Oh, and was finished. Wait, why is the Hebrew different? Oh, so this one... Okay, so I figured it out. The lexicon one changes the order of the Hebrew words to be in the order that the English words would be in had the Bible been written in English. That's the difference between Hebrew and lexicon. Strong's is just has commentary on every single word, I guess. I don't really care about it. And then multi has all the different languages, I guess, which is nice. They have the original Greek translation. They have Hebrew. They have Spanish. They have the Aleppo Codex. Is that a Hungarian one? Yeah, it is. Yeah, they have some nice, some Russian one. Korean. They got all the Bibles up in here. Anyway, let's go back to where I was, which was here. And then we can talk a little bit now about why I don't know, the verse. Let's talk about the verse. Am I Christian? No, I'm Jewish. If I was Christian, I don't think I would as readily speak Hebrew. There was one Christian in my Hebrew class at college, and she transferred to a different college, and then it was all Jews in my Hebrew class. I'm the only one. No, wait, that's not what I meant. There was the only one. Why did I say that? I'm not Christian, I'm Jewish. But I have a deep respect for the Christian religion, and I have many friends who are Christians, and I love talking with Christians about Christianity, and I love talking with Christians about Judaism. I have a lot of fun talking about religion with religious people. Sure. hello. O walks into a room. Sure, everybody. Everyone turns to me. What? And then I'm like, sure. It's the new phatic phrase. Actually, okay, story time. In my intro to linguistics class, which for some reason someone who went into college already knowing a great deal about linguistics, took in my fourth semester so in my second year of college, having already taken a bunch of other linguistics classes that didn't require it for some reason. I showed up late on the day when we talked about phatic phrases, and I didn't know what the topic for the day was. And I sat down at my table and I said, "What's up, genders?" And everyone was like, "Aha! A case of an odd phatic phrase from Lipamanka here. How odd of you to say that instead of a normal phatic phrase, like just what's up." Why did Lipamanka say what's up, genders? I don't know. I wanted to mess around with phatic phrases and I didn't know. And apparently it was topical and it was funny. And I'm glad I did it. That's my story. Hello, Ah. It's translated. I hate that. It's funny because Olá is like, my understanding is that Olá is a little rude in Brazilian Portuguese. Or maybe that's adeus. Yeah, I think adeus is considered like goodbye, but also fuck you. And maybe Olá is just a little formal. I don't remember though. I'm not that great at Portuguese. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case. People in Brazil just say ciao. If someone's actually Brazilian, they can correct me or corroborate, but that's my understanding of it. Okay, so when was finished the silver? Okay. Mani li. Okay, yitom. What is this verb? We're learning. Tamam. Wait, does this have to do with time? Because tamim means like times or something. I can speak Lisbon Portuguese, but okay, wait. Posso falar em português de Lisboa, mas não posso entender português de Brasil. That's how it is. That's how it is. They're not incredibly mutually intelligible. They're somewhat, but not all the way. They're different from each other. They're different languages almost. Okay, wait, so to be complete finished has to do with time. However, I'm just going to translate it as pini. Mani li pini. Tanma Mitzrayim. Tanma Kana. Okay. Ale likama. Wait, and it came, all of Egypt. So all of Egypt came. Alepima Mitzrayim likama. Why is it doing this now? Okay, well, I don't want the spell corrections because it's toki pona. Yeah, if you're offering to typeset my toki pona Bible for free, you can do that. I don't want to do it. I'll do it if someone doesn't want to do it for free. But if you want to use, what is it, latex to or something, that's the one that all the cool kids are doing. Damn, if you bound my translation of Genesis, that would be epic. Oh, you use tips these days. That's awesome. Tawa Yan Yosef Litoki Opana Tawa Mi Epan. This is the most Jewish thing I've ever read. Even though Egypt is doing it, it's the most Jewish thing I've ever read. Egypt comes up to Joseph and is like, "Give us bread." And why should we die already? we die already? Why should we die already if we're poor already? Oh my god, that's really funny. I love the Bible. It's so funny. Kin. Dan semela mi moli. Negdeja. Wait, why does it say there's a preposition? What's the preposition? There's no preposition. Nun is not a preposition. And the cha at the end is a possessive. What? That's just an incorrect gloss. Oh, okay, so neged is actually a preposition that appears to be used kind of sporadically through the Bible until this point. And then continues to be used sporadically through the Bible after this point. You personally pronounce it as later. I've heard that that's common. Yeah, I've heard that that's common. You're curious how much longer the text will be in Toki Pona compared to English. I actually looked into this. It might be in the Bible calculator. No, it's not. But the word count of my translation compared to the word count of the original is so far like 20% higher. So the Toki Pona translation is quite a bit more verbose than the English translation. And I'm sure that there are ways to optimize it so that that is not the case. But I didn't want to do that because I don't think that Toki Pona needs to be super concise. I think if Toki Pona needed to be concise, the translation might fail, or it might be too difficult to justify the effort going into translating the Bible. And I won't say that nobody else is doing this and I'm the only one who's translating the Bible, but the other people who are doing this are doing it way more slowly than I am, and I took a break for like a full month, at least. Like the last time I edited this document was like a month ago, at least. So like, actually, let's just check. Yeah, over a month ago on June 4th was the last time I edited this document, and I've still translated single-handedly about half of the verses as have been translated by this other larger group of people, and they've been working on their project for way longer than I have. So, and that's not because I'm like better than them. That's just because I have put more time and effort into it, which is not like a quality of goodness. It's just a thing that I have done that they have not done as much. And also, I can read Biblical Hebrew, and I'm very good at Toki Pona. So I have both of those skills, and many people involved in this project either have one skill or the other, and only dabble in the other thing. So like a lot of people in the project are very good at Toki Pona, but only dabble in Biblical Hebrew. So they need help from someone who speaks Biblical Hebrew. Or you'll have people who are very good at Biblical Hebrew, like way better than I am, even though, in my opinion, competency with the language is the only thing that's needed if you have a gloss and you double check when you don't understand things. But you have people who like can read it without needing to double check anything, like automatically know what all the words mean, which is really impressive to me, because the usages of these words is sometimes very specific to the verse. And then these people don't know Toki Pona very well, most of them. So that's why I'm able to spend more time working on this and kind of like fly through the verses. I've been translating very slowly today because I've been distractible because I haven't taken my ADHD medication. Yeah. Maybe I am goated with the sauce. It's been a long time since I've had goat meat. I like it. Okay. Okay, so your presence. Locally, in front of Sinpin Sina. I'm gonna use Sinpin. Tanni taso. So the reason why I'm doing that is because if I don't add the taso, it's why should we die before you? Because the silver is gone. The way that would come across is that they're saying that they're answering their own question and saying that they should die in front of him because their silver is gone. What the taso does is it turns the whole thing into like, why should we die just because our silver is gone? So that's what the just is in the toki pona translation. That's not in the original text, but prevents the toki pona text from being read in a completely different way, which is good. A goat meat is good. I suggest it. It is called mutton in many cultures, including Desi cultures. When they speak English, they call it mutton, even though in other places mutton refers to grown sheep. But it's good if you eat meat. It's just as ethical as all the other animals, I guess. Manilihueca. Okay. Afes. To cease, to fail. To come to an end. I'm going to use pini instead of weka. Because it means to end, not to vanish. And pini means end and weka means vanish. That's obviously an oversimplification. Alright. Verse 16. Well, first I'm going to check because I'm curious how many people are watching. Surprisingly, several. A good amount of people are watching. Maybe when I stream less often, it seems like it's more of a treat to come watch a Lipamanka stream. I don't know. But usually when I do these streams, I have about half as many people. Let's see. Jan Yosef Vitoki. Oh, Pana. Okay, this is a new thing that Bible Hub has. They never used to have this little superscript plus that makes the your plural in the glosses. They've added that after the fact to make the gloss, I guess, more accurate a little bit, which is cool. Good job. Now people who don't speak Hebrew can tell that it's plural, I guess, but they also can't tell that you've added random stuff and not marked it as such. This is your first time watching me stream? Well, I have made a couple of videos since last time I streamed, I think. The reason I haven't been streaming is because it's summer. I don't know if you can hear it. I tried to set up my microphone so that I'm louder than it, but I have my air conditioning on because it's the summer and it gets really hot here in Minnesota in the summer, which you wouldn't expect if you've never been here and never talked to someone from here. But summers are the exact opposites of the winter. It gets very hot in Minnesota in the summer. Have I ever watched Dogma 1999? I have not. Sell me on it, I guess. I probably won't, if it's a movie, I probably won't watch it because I don't watch a lot of movies. Let's see. Joseph said, "Opana e soeli manis sina la mi natan." Okay, Pana. I will give to you for your livestock if the silver is gone. Oh, okay. Nami esun tawasina kepeken soeli mani sina. Is this the same word for livestock? Yes, it is. Non ni. Non tempo ni mani sina liweka. Okay. So what's happening here is that their currency, their silver-based currency, kesef, right, they've ran out. They've bought all the grain that they could from Joseph and Pharaoh, and they're like, what do we do? And Joseph is like, you give me your livestock, and then I'll give you the bread. So now I guess everyone in Egypt is going to be poor? Okay. This is like kind of a metaphor for how agriculture started messing things up with social stratification by making it bigger. Oh well. Ona li kama e soli ona tawa yan Yosef. I'm actually going to get rid of the mani here because I think it's clear from context that there's kind of like a difference between animals being used for exchange and currency being used for exchange here. So if I also call the animals currency, using the toki pona word that's used for currency, which can also be used for animals that are used as currency, which is happening here, then people might be like, wait, but I thought mani was used earlier. Does that mani also refer to livestock? In this case, if I have a distinction between mani and soeli, then they will know that mani does not refer to soeli, right? Because I'm saying I'm using soeli as something that is being used for trade. Not everything used for trade needs to be framed directly as mani. Mani is just a useful word in some contexts, where in many societies a type of currency shows up. And that's sometimes animals, and that's definitely the case in this society, but there's also a more direct form of currency. Anyway, where was I? Okay. Oh yeah, I'm not starting over. Let's see. Li pana e ona tawa? Oh. La yan Yosef li pana tawa ona. Li pana e pan tawa ona. For their horses is weird because it's literally in, and I'm assuming that this means their horses, but I'm not sure. Susim. Yep. Wait. No, I need to check BDB. I don't trust the other ones. Swallow? Andorinha. Andorinha. Any one of the numerous species of passerine bird family. Swift, adjective. Okay, there's a guy apparently. Noun, a swift flying bird. Okay, so this word refers to birds, not horses, at least here. Oh, no. That's just the first meaning, is it refers to bird. The second meaning is that it refers to a horse. And it will tell us if this is the verse where it means that. And it is. Okay. So, lon soeli ona. But my problem with saying lon here is that I don't know how this preposition is being used, because it means in their horses. Oh, okay. I figured out what I need to do. I could do esun pisoeli ona. Lon esun soeli tawa ona, lon esun soeli ante ona. No, okay, so my problem here is if I was doing just horses and livestock, I would say they're moving animals and they're other animals. But we also have sheep, and then we have... Hold on. These words are exactly the same. They have the same cantillation marking. And everything. What? Bread for the horses, and for the livestock of the sheep, and for the livestock of the cattle. Oh, livestock of is being used to signify what type of animal it is. So what I can do is soeli ko ona for sheep, because they have fur. That is why sheep are used, I guess, is because they have wool. Lon esun pi soeli telo ona, because that's why they have cattle is for the milk. Lon esun pi soeli yo ona, that's why you have donkeys, so that they can have things. La ona li tawa e ona. Okay, so this is and he led them. Let's see where he's leading them. I swear, if he sacrifices all of them to Adonai, I'm gonna crash out. These people gotta stop sacrificing animals to God. Shaking my head. Seems like a shortcut. Like, if God really loved you, you wouldn't need to do that, right? Lead, guide to watering place or station. Cause to rest there. Bring to a station or place of rest. Lead, guide, refresh. Okay. Itawa e ona. I'm going to do a controversial thing here in the toki pona space, and I'm going to use a transitive preposition that is also acting as a preposition, not just a transitive verb. And what I'm going to do is it means to move something, but I'm going to say to move something to somewhere by putting the destination in the verb phrase. Ha ha ha. Tawa telo e ona kepeken pa. This is my first time using kepeken in a while. I used it here. I guess I used kepeken more than last time I was translating, because last time I was translating, I noticed that I never used kepeken, but now I do. Let's see. Kepeken pan. Lon ale pisoeli ona. Lon sikeni. Okay, in that year. That was a long verse, and I kind of want to go to bed now and go to sleep forever. So sleepy time, you know? Anyway. Sikeni li pini la ona likama tawa ona. Okay, and they came to him. I'm going to use kulupu here. And the reason why is because kulupu can kind of be used as a stand-in for, I mean, it means a group of people. It can be a singular word, one group, or a plural word, multiple groups, but it is always talking about some sort of collection of objects or people. So it can be used very well in translation to distinguish a singular pronoun from a plural one, which happens a lot in the Bible. So kulupuli kamatawa makes sense. It's like, okay, a group of people is coming to him, and then you fill in what the group is. So in a sense, it is being used as a preposition, even though, lexically, it does not fit into the category of preposition. I think I'd analyze it as a preposition here. Non sike nanpatu di toki tawa ona mi. Okay, to hide. Chached. Chached, okay. Efface. Apagar. I love apagar. It's such a good Portuguese word. Top 50 Portuguese words of all time, at least. Erase. Okay. Okay, so it's just, is it reflexive? This is PL. I guess it's just hide. Mi weka emi. Mi weka ala emi sama tan yan sewi mi. And you might be asking, oh, I have an answer. Tan mi. Tan sina yan sewi mi. So the reason why I'm saying sina yan sewi mi, and over here it's from my Lord, is because in biblical Hebrew, the Adonai, Adoni, which means my Lord, is used as a second person formal pronoun. I want to maintain that in my translation, but I also want it to be clear that it is a second person pronoun. So I'm using a comma to clarify the meaning of the usage of sina here is yan sewi mi. And then tanni, mani, and soe li weka tam. Yeah, that's tamam. Wait, no. Mani li weka. No, pini. Mani li pini. I was using pini for that verb. Soeli li sina yo e soeli sina La sina yan sewi mi lio e soweli la nashal nish'ar. Okay, what does nish'ar mean? To remain. This one's been used before. Remain, leftover. Yatar. Okay. Sa'ar. Like to remain. Okay. Alali awen. Don sin bin. Sin bin. Bian sewi. Me. Okay, here's the thing. I already used it once, so I can just say Yansewi mi for the rest of it, because people know that Sina and Yansewi mi are the same thing in this verse. So I'm going to do that. Instead of saying nothing, I'm going to say ni taso, because there's except. Instead of ni taso, it's going to be cielo mi and ma mi taso. Si cielo mi taso and yan mi taso li awen lon sin pin bi yan sewi mi. Okay, that was a doozy. Why are these all doozies? I'm almost there. It's the final stretch of the entire Bible. What's my percentage? Almost 92% done with the Genesis, and then I have to translate Exodus because the Bible's very long. I'm 6% done with the Old Testament. It's gonna take forever. It'll be so rewarding when I'm done, and I'm already about a quarter of the way through the entire Torah. When I'm done with the Torah, la sina ken Luca e libu Luca, you know, you can touch the Pentateuch. That's when I'll publish it. That Kalaasi came up with that one. Kan seme la mi moli don lukin sina mi en ma mi tin ma o esun emmi emma mi tawapan la mi en ma mi di pali tayan pao popana e pan la mi awen ni moli ala. And the land not we will be desolate. Desolate is like everyone's dead. Deserted of people. Mali awen yoeyan. Li weka ala eyan. So my one problem with using weka here is that it is kind of active in most of the time. Job is a while away. The way that they order it here is not very accurate to how the order that I'm going to be doing it in. But Job goes like way down after all these, like after Malachi. They order it like this because the ordering the prophets, these prophets, directly into Matthew makes it seem like all of these prophets are predicting Jesus. That's not how they're ordered traditionally in Hebrew, in Judaism. They're actually all before Job and Esther. I think they're still after Ezra and Nehemiah though. And then Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Songs. These ones come after the ones that in this order are after them. So Job is a very long way away, and the day that it becomes published in a translation by me and Toki Pona will be probably a decade away at least. So, don't hold your breath, because then you'd be holding your breath for 10 years. That would be too much. Let's see. Verse 20. Ian Yosef li esun emma ale. Pima mitzrayim. Tawayan paro. Tani. Okay, is this Tani or not? Because for sold out of Egypt, every man his field. Okay. Tani yan aleli esun. Ma kasi ona. And ish here does literally just mean man, like a man. But this specific word, without the definite article, is used to mean every man. So this is actually a good translation, even though it's not direct. If it was just man his field, that wouldn't make any sense. This is being used to mean every man. I don't know what the of is doing here. This is just Egypt. So, ma mitzrayim la yan aleli esun en ma kasi ona. Tani, and the thing is over here, people might look at this and think, oh, esun means by, right? It doesn't. And the reason why is because if you esun something that belongs to you, and if yan ale li esun e makasi ona, that means it belongs to yan ale, right? Then it means you're selling it. You have to be. You can't buy something that you already have. That doesn't make any sense. So it is esun here is unambiguously being used to mean sell. And some people might struggle with that, but it is not ambiguous. Awesome. All your favorite books go at the end then. I might skip some. I might do it out of order because I do really like Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Songs, and also Ruth. I don't know why they put Ruth over here. Maybe because they're trying to do it chronologically, but Ruth also goes with those. I also really like Ruth, and I will be translating Ruth too. But like these are like the quote unquote writings, ketuvim, right? The things that are written. They're not about prophets. They're not about history, and necessarily at least. I mean, some of them might be seen as historical, but that's not why they're written, and they're not law. They're extra writings. They're wisdom poetry and religious. It's poetic. It's a poetic section. Not all of it is poetic. Esther's not all that poetic. Job is like 50-50. Psalms is completely poetry. Proverbs is completely poetry. Ecclesiastes is completely poetry. Song of Solomon is completely poetry. Ruth is not. Oh, and also, where is it? It's the Jonah and the whale. Where is Jonah? Is that here? I don't know where Jonah is. Oh, they put Jonah here. Jonah should be here with these guys, I'm pretty sure. Maybe Christians interpret Jonah as a prophet. Which, okay, Jonah is a prophet, but like his story is not about prophecy. His story is about when you are a prophet, you have to do what God says, because he doesn't do what God says and he gets eaten by a fish, and then people say he gets eaten by a whale, but it's literally just big fish. What's the word for fish again? It's God or something? Anyway, he gets eaten by a big fish, not a whale. This is not what the word means. Which is to say that it's not a story about a prophet telling prophecies. It's a story about a prophet not doing what a prophet should do, I guess. It's like a parable. So, I don't know. I don't know what order I'm going to do these in, but I'm on to the first one. If you translate the Bible, you know Genesis is coming first, and you know Exodus is coming next, and then I guess Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. But I might not translate those three before I move on because they're boring. It's a list of laws. Well, there's some interesting stuff that happens story-wise. I don't know. I might do them. Who knows? I cannot read the future. I don't know what future me's decision will be. Ni weka moku I ike kawa ma vikama tawa yan pao. No, I'm just gonna say yan pao di kama yo emma ma. So, because in Hebrew there is no word for to have, it's just something is to someone. There may be many people, not many, but there was a time in Toki Pona spaces where it was pretty popular to not want to use the word yo at all because people didn't think ownership was a thing. I was talking about this earlier. But in doing so, they would have other constructions. They might say, yo lidon luka mi, like something is in my hand. And if it's not in their hand, then they don't own it because there's no such thing as ownership. And as much as I wish that all societies were like that at all times, so that like if you needed something, you could just take it from where it was. That's not how the society I live in works. That's not how the society in the Bible works. And having the word yo is useful in most societies in the world because most societies in the world currently, and many societies historically, have subsisted on some form of ownership, even if it's different from the one that I'm used to, right? So I use yo pretty broadly for like all sorts of ownership, even like a conceptual one, because why not? How many people are watching now? 6. Okay, that's more like it. There were too many people for a while, but now we're back down to 6, 7. You know. Oh yeah, if you search 6, 7 on Google, it moves, and that's funny to me. 21. Actually, how long have I been streaming? An hour and a half. That's enough. I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We got some Bible done. Not much of it. There will be other streams where I very quickly translate because I have taken my medication. This is not one of them. This one I got distracted. But that's okay. I don't need to be super focused all the time in order to have fun streaming. So, goodbye, everybody. Have a nice night. You love to watch this project. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. I like to work on this project. One day I'll be done with Genesis and I can publish it somewhere, and then everyone can read it, and there'll be lots of footnotes in it about the translation in Toki Pona. So like if anything that gets lost in translation and is major will be put in a footnote. Like sometimes plants are mentioned, specific plants. I'll put information about that plant in the footnote, etc. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good translation. Okay, goodbye, everybody.